Hey, yeah, time, hey, in the ring, yeah. Downtime in the ring, yeah, you know we get it on. Downtime's in the ring, we gon' hustle till it's gone. Downtime in the ring, yeah, you know we get it on. Downtime in the ring, yeah, we got it till it's gone. Downtime in the ring, yeah, you know we get it on. Downtime in the ring, yeah, we hustle till it's gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Downtime in the Ring. We are live on YouTube on Kick. I'm super excited this week. I got my amazing co-host, Chris. We're just going to go over everything wrestling this week or lackluster. Who knows really what's going to happen this week. But we were having a conversation before we started the show, and we decided to start it. And it was basically over the dumbest literal shit that WWE has come up with. And that is diarrhea, Dwayne. Like that was bad.
It was depressing. Even like you can hear Pat McAfee like, oh my god. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Like you could feel it. It was just not good. Not good at all. I firmly, and the crowd chanted, right? And yeah. I firmly believe that they chanted out of sympathy. Because Rock is gonna have a field day.
He's gonna be there. He's gonna be there tomorrow, isn't he? He's gonna be there.
Yes. Yes. He's gonna have a field day. And I think Seth and Cody are supposed to be there too.
Yeah, and Seth is 100% cleared at this point. Like, bruh.
What's that?
Bruh. Okay, cool. It's all good, but just bruh. Like it's so bad that we're at this point where we want to stay PG and they're going up against the most non-PG man on the mic in professional wrestling history that has done it well. And they're gonna try and be PG and be Disney, and I'm like, you can't be you got to be Adult Swim when you're going up against The Rock, because Disney
it's got to hit with that humor and be vulgar as shit. But not vulgar to the point where the FCC is going to be like, yeah, no.
Yeah, we can't have this. But I'm surprised, dude. I'm just like, this was a bad part of the week overall. I mean, we've had an interesting week in professional wrestling, I'll say that. Did you catch the Twitter beef between Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins on Twitter?
No, actually.
So
there was a tweet, but I can't remember.
So it starts out. It's funny because Ricochet just randomly like pops his head in, which made me love it the most. So Seth is saying, I forget. Seth says something and Drew McIntyre rebuttals, and then Seth calls him a bitch and says, like, you know, I've been spending the past 2 years trying to create a title worth fighting for. And he goes, bitch, where's this energy last week? Basically showing a picture of when he knocked him out. And all this time, Ricochet just goes, oh, so we can cuss now? And that was the best part about it. I was like, yes, just a little bit.
Meanwhile, did you see I think it's the TikTok or Instagram reel of Bianca and Montez at Disneyland where they're dancing with the mascots?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen that.
Absolutely funny. And I think it's Bianca saying like, yeah, I don't think the Hulu team was prepared when they were going to start filming us that we were going to go all out, that we are who we are. And it's at level 10 all the time. It's not cranked up or cranked down. So, bro, okay.
This week has been like absolutely insane. I've loved a lot of it. Obviously, we got Okada. Okada is literally all elite. which
How do you feel about them firing Kenny?
so Morgan was like, okay, so Okada's all elite, and she's a fan of Kenny, but she's not a big fan of Kenny, so she's like, okay, cool, he'll eventually be back. And I was like, no, this is a lot worse, because Kenny and Okada are mortal enemies.
They are.
So-
They're literally going to take a Wrestle Kingdom main event.
Yes.
And that's, I think that'll help out very much so in this. Give it something like a kick, because I thought they were going to progress with the Devil storyline, but even that slumped, and it's been Swerve, and that's really what's been kind of pushing the train, is the Swerve storyline. I say that as if Samoa Joe's not champion. I don't acknowledge Joe. I'm sorry.
So yeah, like Samoa Joe's champion, but I mean, even in like the build up to the triple threat, it was more Swerve and Hangman at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having Okada, which Samoa Joe even hinted like he wants a match with Okada. So AEW Dynasty is gonna look fucking dope, dude. We have Okada probably against Eddie Kingston, which I mean, if they put Eddie's belt up on the line, I'm like, that's kind of the best person to put this lackluster belt right now, is put it on the Rainmaker and let the Rainmaker go with it. Will Ospreay, huge babyface at this point, like ginormous babyface at this point.
That Kyle Fletcher match was great.
Overall, dude, AEW, I was seeing on Twitter, and I was agreeing with a few people. They were like, this doesn't feel like a new AEW, but this feels like a fresh AEW at this point. So I'm excited to see what's going on. But we also had Roadblock too at NXT. And the one thing I want to defend is probably spot of the night, which is Dijak doing the moonsault off the top of the cage, and what looked like he hit Joe Gacy in the face. Right now there's no confirmation, plus the match had already happened a couple of days ago, so there's real no need to have as much heat. But there were a lot of tribalists from AEW who were like, well, Dijak gets to hit Gacy in the face, what's wrong with, Guevara doing it to Hardy? And I'm like, two totally different situations at that point. Two totally different.
As they're trying to cover up the fact that Darby was a glass pincushion.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, I don't think anyone wins this. Let's just chill.
No. Bro,
Let's
did
chill.
you see? Apparently there were fans that got hit with the glass.
With the
but
glass,
instead of,
yes.
they were putting it in their pockets.
Wow.
They were trying to make this like sellable souvenirs, dude.
Okay. I mean, if you're down to buy it, I ain't judging, but that's not my cup of tea.
I know. I'm like,
I was more afraid of the fact, like, I think you see it. It's the girl in the pink.
Yeah, she jumps back.
She jumps back, and I thought she jumped back because she got glass in her eye. I was like, oh no. So, but I guess what they were really more like, I don't know if it was Brian Alvarez or something. I think it is, because it sounds like something he would complain about. He didn't complain about the fact that he hit the glass and became the pincushion. He complained about how he hit the chairs on the fall. I'm like, I mean, I guess you could argue that Darby is smaller, therefore more aerodynamic in the air when gravity happens. But I mean, I don't think at that moment he's thinking, oh, I better hit these chairs correctly. So,
yeah. At that point, when he's going through the air, my brain isn't going, oh, is he going to hit the chairs correctly? My brain is going, is he dying? Is this it? Is this the actual coffin drop that we all thought?
And I'm sorry, but is Darby Allin, that motherfucker, is he going to Everest or not? Because we were talking about this like months ago.
Okay, so I learned. Okay, so when he did take his little break It was to train, so he did exactly
so
what
he
you
went
said.
to
A different mountain.
He probably had to go to New Zealand because that's the one of the taller mountains to
Yeah.
train.
So apparently he's still filming the documentary Warner Discovery. I think what it was is that Warner Discovery was like, okay, we really don't know if he's coming back, so let's finish this Sting storyline for one of our major acquisitions. And now that Darby literally has nothing to do, yeah, he's going to Everest. And he's gonna he's gonna perform a coffin drop off the top of the world at this point, which horrifies me.
You know, have you seen the photo of? I'm pretty sure I'm the one who told you about that. How it's now there's like just people waiting in line to be at Everest, though.
Yeah.
Like to how true that is. There might be a season. There's literally a tourist season for Everest now. Think about that. So maybe Darby's going to do it on an off season where it makes it seem a little bit more epic. I would hope, for the sake of the documentary and it doing well.
Yeah, my whole thing is so when they're like pitching this, they're like, oh yeah, it's a documentary climbing Everest. And I'm like, okay, where's the end game? Like, what's the actual point? Because yeah, that was a feat, decades ago. But like you said, yeah, like you said, there's tons of people who have done it. So what will make this more special that Darby climbs it compared to like Mike from accounting?
It depends on what side of what point on the peak is he going to do the coffin drop. Is it the peak where it's like a cliff, or is it the peak that lands safely into the snow? I would assume it would be the latter, of course.
Yes,
but if you're
the cliff, you're correct.
I'm like just saying.
I don't know. I'm
and not cause an avalanche as a result. Oh no!
So it has to be the cliff part then. It has to be the cliff part.
He has to base jump off of Everest. That's the only way.
Oh shit. Okay. He technically is. He's the most elite at that point.
The most elite base jumper. Yep.
Yes,
he is.
He's the most elite at this.
And then he'll transition into like those squirrel suits at some point. I mean, I'm down for it. Turn him into a daredevil instead of an angsty skater.
Yes. Oh God. Sponsored by Jackass. I would love it. A Nitro Circus, because that's what he's done recently.
Yeah, AEW is going to get those Red Bull sponsorships, dog. That's their ticket. That's their ticket.
Darby Allin. Darby Allin's the reason why.
Travis Pastrana hosted show. I'm down for it.
Oh God. Oh
Nitro Circus X AEW.
Oh, dude. At Arthur, you have to. He's gonna have to do his tricycle over Arthur Ashe Stadium. That's it.
The backflip tricycle. Dope.
Over,
and then at the end it says Travis Pastrana is all elite.
Yes,
that would be hilarious. I'd want
it. At Wembley, they had enough room. At Wembley.
Have a Nitro Circus show just happening on the side. That'd be hilarious too.
I would love it. We need to have this. This needs to be a genuine thing now where we have it. But
what threw me off though from NXT though, I will say, is that Stacks won for the title at Stand and Deliver. So I was like, oh, interesting. I mean, it sets up Carmelo and Trick pretty well.
Oh, you're talking about D'Angelo?
Yes.
Yeah, D'Angelo. Stacks is the little dude.
Yeah. D'Angelo, yes. My bad. Yeah,
Stacks is the little dude.
And they added a consigliere too recently.
I know. I'm excited. I like it. It's like, The Sopranos.
It's funny because it brought me back to when I was doing that project interviewing of the guy from Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
Part of the mafia. So I was like, I know what a consigliere is.
You jump out of your chair. You're like, I know what you are.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, I like that faction. I wish they brought it to the main roster. I think the main roster needs a little bit more other than what's it called? The Testament, the Final Testament?
The Final Testament. Okay, so we have what? We have, if we're going to go into like main roster factions, we have the JD, which is the biggest one currently. Second place is Bloodline. Third place would be LWO.
Mhm.
Fourth place would be the Pride. And then tied for fourth place would be the Final Testament. Oh, and then we have Alpha Academy.
Yeah, that too. Because Hit Row's not a thing anymore.
No.
Um,
Well, their greatest hit is in AEW, and their greatest flop was in
TNA.
TNA.
It sucks like I chimed in on that.
It sucks that you knew. You
Yep.
knew exactly who I was talking about.
The greatest Cheez-It champion ever. Okay.
Joe Hendry. Overall, dude, like TNA, my only problem is that they gave Sean Spears his name back. They gave him his real name. I don't
not
like it.
TNA, NXT.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
I don't like it. I wanted Ty Dillinger. I was excited, dude. I sent the screenshots. I was like, dude, Perfect 10 is back. And instead we have the chairman, Sean Spears. I'm like,
It's
not
consistent. I mean, at least we don't get the Vince treatment where it's a completely different person, I mean, the worst one was or the best example of that would have to be when Derek Bateman turned into EC3 and then went in as EC3, just not Ethan Carter. That's yeah. So that's probably the best. Hopefully, Sean Spears does it better in general in context to that. So
I know.
I just don't know. I don't understand the whole I know who you are. He's using the chair as a therapy chair.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
So the weird part about this is the proverbs that have been showing, because everybody thought it was Okada's, is old Japanese proverbs. The man has three faces, one that society sees, one his family sees, and the one nobody sees, and all these kind of things. And now that I see Sean Spears, I went from Japanese proverb warrior to I know what you did last summer with Freddie Prinze Jr. That's exactly where my mind went. So I can't take it serious because I'm like, dude, we know where you were. You were in the Pinnacle, and then you almost killed Cody, which I want that interaction. I want that interaction in the main roster. I'm just like, dude, there's hype, and I'm excited. I just wish that it wasn't the gimmick we got from AEW, because if everybody goes if the WWE tribalists are like, WWE fixes what AEW, makes mistakes on, then why take what literally was the mistake and bring it to your developmental brand, which he doesn't even need because he was already in there. I think
the smart way to attempt it, if I were given that chance, let's say I was on the writing team and they're like, okay, so we're bringing in an AEW wrestler who didn't do so well in AEW, and but we're keeping their gimmick and we're keeping their name that they had in AEW. I think it's a dependent. I think there's something different between AEW allowing the wrestler to design their personality versus someone who's writing for them, given the template of who they are. I think there's a fine way how they can take something that AEW failed at, because that's the whole point of AEW is the wrestlers are in charge of their storylines, correct?
Yeah.
Or how their character is portrayed on television.
Yes. That's what it is.
And it has to be in a sense where, okay, they established the template, but they're not writing for their template very well. Let's give someone or a group of people that template for this person when they come back, and we'll write for them. You see, now as to whether or not that system, we don't know how that system goes. I would assume it's a lot more lenient now that Triple H and Shawn and are a part of all that. Road Dogg's a part of all that. Writing wise, you got Robert Roode as a producer,
Yeah.
all that stuff. So maybe that's the thing. I kind of think of it logically in that aspect instead of looking at it as like, oh yeah, we're just gonna take Shawn Spears and make him better than what he was in AEW. True, but not true. You see what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're having a team of writers or a writer versus just them creating it on a week-to-week basis. You see?
I see where you're coming from, and I'm just stuck at that. Like, I don't want him 6 months from now, where the only good thing he's done at this point is the North American Championship. Like, I want him where 6 months from now, he's in that main title picture, because Shawn Spears is a genuinely good wrestler. Like,
yes,
Ty Dillinger is a genuinely good wrestler. And I'm like, bro, I know, you're about to be a father again. And maybe this was kind of your way, like NXT's kind of your way of just staying home more in a sense and not going to the main roster. But
also he did say himself that he sees himself as not the guy to be in main events. He sees himself as not the guy to win titles. He sees himself to be a part of creating something better than the wrestler logic. That's from Chris Van Vliet. That's what he said in that interview. So it works hand in hand. What you're saying, he wants to be home more because it's a father, and maybe it's that also added factor of, well, I got a family now, and WWE is kind of like the cash cow, the constant cash cow. So let's do it, So there's multiple factors into it.
Because like whatever NXT event is gonna subside with SummerSlam, I would love to see it to where, like, say Ilya beats D'Angelo. Like, Ilya's final thing in NXT is a match against Shawn Spears, lose it or wins it still, and then goes on to the main roster. They'll relinquish the belt, do a tournament, but kind of like that idea where, like, he's still prominent. He's just not.
Like, look at Lexus King, like
dude,
like there was so much hype for him showing up, and then it immediately died because of Obafemi. the literal powerhouse. I've never seen someone so charismatic in my life in Obafemi who's taken that quickly.
Yeah,
like, God, dude, I'm sorry, but the NIL system that WWE has is somewhat proving true in a sense. Like, so,
and I like you said, Lexus King, man, I'll see him on Twitter and he'll show his smile and he'll show his, like, his beard fresh and his haircut, and I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. You can't do it. You are not what the people
and
want.
Oftentimes it could be the fact that he's not clicking with the writer or something. That's also the flaw in WWE. Writers and talent don't click.
Yeah,
and it doesn't come off the screen well, and sometimes they're given too much of that push of, okay, well, this is what you have for this week on television. Let's put you on TV because you're kind of in the picture. So
yeah,
and it's really like you need to stand and deliver. Like, you gotta stand and deliver.
Damn, Chris, we need a pitch that to WWE. Stand and deliver.
Yeah. So
I agree with you, dude. Like, you can't help. So that's kind of like the two sides. Like, AEW, you get, you pick what your character looks like, but that could fail. WWE, you get a team of writers, but if you're getting a Brian Gewartz and you're a high flyer, it's obviously not going to work. Or a Freddie Prinze Jr. and MVP, and at first, MVP wanted to kill him, and then they finally clicked on. Like, I understand. I see both sides where I'm like, that's where we're going, and that's why I need to remember that WWE does have these writing teams. It's just I don't want to see this guy be buried.
Yeah. And
And
Sean Spears, it's all dependent on how satisfied he is with his contract, because
Yeah.
I see in the immediate thing is, well, it's solid start. I'm back where I used to be, but I got my name on it, and I got my gimmick, sorta.
Yeah.
Like he probably did push for his old chairman gimmick, but you know how they're like, well, intellectual property, dog. Sorry, we gotta change it up somehow. Unless you're worth the money and the the property infringement.
Unless
So,
you're goddamn Cody Rhodes,
yeah,
then
or
you
that.
can't. Yeah.
So,
Unless
it
you're
works out.
goddamn Cody Rhodes, then no, you ain't gonna get what you want. I'm just, dude. We have what? We have a TNA pit. We have Sacrifice this weekend, dude.
Yep. I'm ready for it.
I need Scott. I wish Scott Steiner would just cut one more Steiner Math promo for Sacrifice. That's all I want. That's all I want, dude. I'm happy. We have like pay-per-views almost every weekend now. We have wrestling almost every day. It's just it's such a good
Big
part.
business is next week. What are your thoughts on how that's gonna go?
Yes, I'm super excited, dude. I'm hyped. She won't have a match. Just
Probably
typical
not.
AEW fashion. She won't have a match. She might cut a promo unless we go back to like the typical way. Then she's just gonna, make it an amazing appearance.
She's in the rafters like Sting. I mean, Sting's gone now. You can't lie. The last 2-3 times we've seen Mercedes Moné, she's been in like
the
top,
rafters,
in the rafters or high seats.
Yes,
like she's AEW's new Sting.
Yes. They're hinting at Serena Deeb versus Mercedes Moné for her first match in AEW.
For it.
Shout out to somebody that we consider a friend, Evan Mack, officially for the Kick Rock podcast. It comes out today. Actually at it already came out 30 minutes ago as of this this live. He got a exclusive interview with Mercedes Moné. And she said a lot of things because publishers get the early thing. She said she finally found a home in wrestling. She talks about her departure, her and Trinity when they left with that fiasco. Overall, dude,
I'm curious. I need to listen to that now.
Yeah, it's the Kick Rocks podcast with Mercedes Moné. Congratulations to Evan Mack, because not really, I mean, not even Chris Van Vliet, if I'm correct, even got an exclusive with her since she's been gone, but he did. So congratulations to you, man. Love you. That's awesome. Big inspiration for some big business. But I don't know. I'm not too excited because I feel like this is gonna be like Fyter Fest or what do they call it? Winter is Coming.
Oh,
yeah. Where it's just like, oh, it's cool matches, but we genuinely kind of know where we're going with it's not gonna be.
It's like Roadblock almost.
Yeah,
like one of those.
Yeah,
like when I heard Roadblock was a thing, when they announced it, I was just like, oh no, not gonna pay per view. But them turning like shitty pay-per-views into kind of TV specials rectifies it. So I treat it as such. I treat it as such with AEW.
Roadblock is what Fastlane should be, or what Fastlane tried to be before WrestleMania.
Yeah, well, that too, and before that, it was New Year's Evil and Revolution, wasn't it?
The sacred pay-per-views, yes.
Yeah. So
the actual pay-per-views that had career-defining moments in them, yeah, those ones were good. But I'm gonna listen to the whole thing when we hop off here. I'm super excited. she's back. She's in the States. She wants to work with New Japan. Julia has confirmed or not confirmed, but has kind of made the subtle hint that she isn't going to WWE right away. That the head of creative that was let go from Stardom is starting his own company. She wants to help push it before she decides her next career move, and that she wants Mercedes Moné to be a part of it, or like in a match.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where we're going with this, dude. This is going to be like hella cool. I'm ready. I'm ready for her to be here already. Cause God, it's been forever. It's been forever since we've seen her in a ring.
As long as she comes out with something other than that dumb theme song, that's the one thing I don't like about Mercedes Moné outside of
Sasha
WWE is just that stupid money. Like I can't. It makes no sense to me.
But money. I'm excited. Like I am excited. I don't think we have any other matches confirmed as of right now. I'll have to look back. I don't think we have anything really confirmed for Big Business. And after I've gotten to like quiet down, I realize what you said. Yeah, it's a decent name for like a theme show, but just shit, dude.
Yeah, I just don't know how they're going to like. I hope they build something because they got to do something with Okada now. They have.
It'll be Kingston. It'll be Kingston.
Kingston versus Okada.
Yeah,
for Kingston to lose. Oh no.
Okay.
Remember, expensive debuts never lose.
That's what I say, dude. Expensive debuts never lose. And until somebody can prove me wrong, and if you do, I'm glad to hear
Eddie Kingston beats Okada, that's a shoot.
If Eddie Kingston beats Okada, I'm jumping out that window. Like I live on the second level of my apartment complex. I'm jumping out that window because the one time I'm like, yeah, I'm going to walk in with my chest high saying expensive debuts never lose. And Okada loses, I'm jumping out that window.
I feel like I have a mental breakdown to see Okada losing against Eddie Kingston.
I'm coffin dropping off that.
I'm just
out that
like,
window.
I just like, what are they doing? What are they doing? So, but I'm hyped for it though. I'm ready. So
we got we still got a ton of shit too coming in later. We got you know what? Honestly, I'm super excited. Don't want to talk too much about this, but I am super excited for our WrestleMania week of things that we got to do, just because we'll have the 2.5 Heels pod back on here. We'll get to, have a little fun with them. And announced also, which I didn't realize, is we are going to have Super Card of Honor that around that time too, that week.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck, we're going to have so much shit, dude.
Speaking of Ring of Honor, did you see the spot with Johnny Elite versus what's his
Dalton
name?
Castle?
Dalton Castle, where Dalton literally like spiked him down. He clearly covered his head, but everyone was just like, unsafe. Unsafe. That's not safe.
Yeah, that's Johnny TV deserved to take the boys at this point. He won the boys in the divorce. There's no nothing.
That was weird. I saw that entire spiel of all the Ring of Honor storylines that comes up across my Instagram feed. It had to be the Dalton Castle versus Johnny Elite for the custody of the boys.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, okay. Ring of Honor still Ring of Honoring.
You're all like, I haven't. You just check your phone. You're like, you know what? I haven't seen Ring of Honor in a while. Sees the video and you just put your phone down, face down, so you don't see it again.
Dalton Castle is a character. He's a very appreciated character in this household.
You know, I would love for us to have like Dalton Castle, but it'd have to be in person because I just want to, I want to peacock pose with that dude, man. He's got so much charisma for
Yep.
no reason. For no reason. And he does. Oh, I love it. So I have a question for you because people are very, on the side with it. So I do remember we have Wardlow versus Samoa Joe next week at Big Business
Mm-hmm.
for the AEW World Championship. Are you going for Wardlow or are you going for Samoa Joe because of the Undisputed Kingdom storyline, or are you going to stick with the Swerve storyline? Booking themselves into a hole. Book themselves into a hole.
Why would you do that?
Exactly. They booked themselves into the biggest hole they could have, which is we can give Wardlow the championship, which then he will relinquish to Adam Cole, which could bring Swerve into it. But Swerve,
The only thing I could think of is that Hangman continues his petty run, and he DQs it, and he's like, if I can't have the title, no one can have the title.
You forgot he's suspended indefinitely.
Oh,
I hate
shit.
that so much.
I sorry, I haven't seen Dynamite. I haven't seen the new title screen.
So he's suspended indefinitely for what he did to Bryce Remsburg at the pay-per-view. And since Kenny's fired, like
so Wardlow lost to Joe, didn't he? That was
yes.
If I'm thinking in their rivalry, because unfortunately they have a storied rivalry.
Yeah.
That means Wardlow would have to beat Joe in context to rivalry standpoint.
Yeah.
But Joe can't lose because of the Swerve thing.
Yeah.
It's got to be a dirty, like it's going to have to be a DQ finish. There's no way they're going to pull the trigger on either of them like that.
Yeah.
It has, and it sucks. It's now that I'm thinking about it, it sucks because it's like I know a world championship match is going to end in a DQ.
Yeah.
So AEW.
Because you're gonna have the only way I can see it being a solid, clean finish is Wardlow can't take down Joe on his own. Has to resort to cheating. Matt Taven
or Mike Bennett
come in, distract the ref. Swerve comes out, attacks whoever's attacking or distracting the ref. The
Nana does the Nana somehow.
Whoever's not distracting the ref comes, attacks Swerve. Brian Cage comes out for the embassy, attacks whoever's attacking Swerve. Joe or Wardlow's, discombobulated. Samoa Joe goes.
It's turning. Now that you're explaining it like that, it's very WCW-y.
It is. It very much is, dude.
But it's not all. It's not all of the NWO versus everyone else. It's literally faction warfare, like Halo, faction warfare.
It's not Goldberg getting tased in the middle of the ring, but it's something.
It's along those lines. Like you got a guy dancing on here on this end. You got some dude with his hands in the pockets there. Somehow he's related to all this in some form or fashion. But let's continue on. It's a show.
We also have what a match I'm really confused on is now we have Edge or Adam Copeland.
Oh, Edge versus Christian in the I Quit match.
I'm like, why? Yes, technically Christian has won both match, right? He's won both, right?
Yes.
So I'm like, what's the I Quit match for? And why is it in Winnipeg? Like, what's the I understand like they're Winnipeg. Isn't Edge from Winnipeg?
He's from Toronto.
Okay. Is Christian from Toronto or Winnipeg?
Toronto. I thought.
Okay. So I'm
gonna
like,
fact check that.
yeah. Because I believe it's in Winnipeg because people are excited for Kenny. They think that Kenny's gonna come back
Well,
because
no, Edge is from Toronto because he's got the Maple Leafs gear.
yeah, he is. So that's why I'm like, what do we do? What? Okay.
Christian Cage.
Dirt Sheet Radio. Like I'm super confused.
Toronto. Toronto.
Okay, so he's from Toronto. I'm just like, why are we?
The only one from Winnipeg is Chris Jericho and Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny and Chris Jericho are from. I knew that Kenny and Chris Jericho are.
And Don Callis. So therefore,
He doesn't.
Don Callis is going to create another great match with his family.
He doesn't count in my heart. Don Callis does not count because Don Callis has ruined everything. I don't like Don Callis.
Don Callis is the reason AEW. Okay, is it a thing?
You shut your mouth, good sir. You shut the fuck up.
If it wasn't for the Kenny Jericho match in the Tokyo Dome,
you are gonna be silenced. Shut up. Oh yeah, I forgot. I completely forgot about this, dude. That Jack Perry is now in a faction in NJPW.
in AJPW, yeah,
Yeah. Like
he's
what?
calling himself the scapegoat.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not a scapegoat
like
if you're equal in blame. I'm gonna say that. You're not a scapegoat if you're equal in blame. If you, as much as I hate Punk, if you poke the bear in the biggest show in the world, you're not the scapegoat, my guy. You have J, and that's the only thing you got. You are not, you have nobody's pity at all. You are, I don't.
Darby Allin should have said, "Was that real glass for you? Enough for you?" I would have liked Darby so much more if he had said something.
Oh yes, because as he's bleeding profusely, you just want him to look at the camera and be like, "Is that real glass?"
I mean, he spent 20 minutes after the fact of doing the spot, just in the corner, just surviving, while Sting gave his goddamn speech. So he could have.
Bro, I could only imagine what he felt at that exact moment. The amount of pain he felt.
This shit was stupid. I hope you guys paid good money for this. I hope it was worth your money. Yeah, it was. I will say that. He turns. You die.
He turns from the camera and he's like, "Fuck yeah."
And remember, guys, this is Sting's retirement match. Remember that completely. Let's forget. We need to forget about Darby not killing himself. It was Sting's last match.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
Oh, and Lex Luger was there.
Yes, he was. So, he was there.
That's good. That's good.
And they acknowledged it on Raw, which I was like,
yes, ooh. I liked that. Well, Michael Cole. If we have to learn anything about Michael Cole from this last Raw, is he is off the leash.
Yes.
He is off the leash. I never thought I'd see Michael Cole be so excited to wear a pair of antlers while commentating. And Pat McAfee's just like, what happened to this guy?
Yes.
Ever since Name Redacted left, Michael Cole's been off the leash. And I'm all for it.
I've seen on wrestling Twitter where people are mad. They're like, Michael Cole's treating this like an indie event. And my immediate thought is, good. That's fucking so interaction.
Good. That's so good. I actually am all for it because for as long as Michael Cole has had to put up with Vince in his ear, for as long as he has had to deal with that, I am all for it. Bring back the coal mine. I think it'd be the perfect time for Michael Cole to bring back the coal mine
Oh God.
and just do it right. Do it right. Forever coal miner.
No. Yeah. It would be fun. I love it, dude. I love where we are in like professional
sorry.
wrestling.
Paul Heyman was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Or he will be inducted.
Or he will be inducted. Well deserved.
So
well deserved.
So I saw on Twitter people were like, here are his 4 most successful superstars. One being name redacted, MMA fighter, one being Rob Van Dam, one being CM Punk, and the final one being the tribal chief Roman Reigns. And they were like, who would you pick to be the one to induct him? And I sat there.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why'd you do it? Why'd you do it?
Yeah.
Why did you partake?
You know if
No, I know who.
Who?
Tommy Dreamer.
What? Oh, okay. I see
Has-
why. Yeah. Well, RVD, and so that's where I was like, okay, RVD obviously can't do it because of his obligations to AEW. He was already pulled from because they were going to have RVD be there at Mania, was the rumor, and then he got pulled. So I was like, okay, so it's either CM Punk or Roman Reigns. And in my opinion, neither of them have quite the history as the name redacted did, but because he is so evil, he can't do it.
Are the Dudleys contracted anywhere?
No.
Bubba Ray could do it.
They're gonna be at speaking of the Dudleys, they're gonna be at WrestleCade this year.
Yeah, but like the Bully Ray could do it.
I thought Devon was on a Legends deal.
He was, and then he quit the company.
Oh, screw it, Triple H. I don't know how we can get this out to you, but clear things with cleared things with Anthem. We need Tommy Dreamer. You need Bubba Ray.
If anyone had to do it, I think it would be Dreamer, because it can't be Brock or name redacted.
Yeah, name redacted. It can't be him for good reasons.
Yeah. It has to be Dreamer.
Yeah,
because it can't be Taz. It can't be RVD. It can't be Sandman. Can't be Sabu.
I'm trying to think of like the original ECW and trying to think of like what could Undertaker could induct Paul Heyman into the Hall of Fame. Did they ever have anything? I don't know if they ever did. That was also by Nikki. Nikki was
other than the what's it called? Like the match he had with Name Redacted.
Yeah, I don't think he ever did anything with Undertaker and vice versa. Who else? There's like, it's crazy because there's such a huge roster from ECW that could do it, but we just are picking, Paul E. dangerously managed him in 1989.
He did.
Oh, okay.
I want to watch Paulie Dangerously's promos or interviews back in the day.
Oh, okay.
Now I want to watch those.
Oh, my bad, Nikki. Okay, so the Undertaker could. I mean, I think we all know it's probably gonna be Punk, and
it probably is.
Personally, I'm like, we're setting aside my distaste for Punk. That's not the guy who should do it. Like when Punk was with Paul Heyman, what was the coolest thing that Punk did?
Become
What-
longest reigning champion of the modern era. While
Who did he
Well-
defend? Who did he defend against? Let's correct that.
Who
Who did he defend against?
Rock.
Yeah. He defended against Brock, Del Rio. What was it? Jericho once, I think.
Cena, Jericho. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Rock.
But he lost. I thought he lost to Rock.
He lost to Rock. Yes.
Yeah, he lost to Rock.
But other than that, like, it's just because it's the Paul Heyman guy thing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really that. But again, that's not the first person I would think of to induct Paul
Yeah.
Heyman into the Hall of Fame. First thing that comes up to me is literally the guy who attempted to kill Paul Heyman at Mania in
Yeah.
Tommy Dreamer. Like, I just think of Dreamer because it's literally it's got to be an ECW guy. It has to be.
We're in Philadelphia. The ECW arena is not that far away. Like, they could do something very special with this introduction.
Imagine. So now, in that sort of theme, don't you think that instead of having Stand and Deliver as like the go home, I understand it's now like their WrestleMania and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
so was every other takeover, you know? But
Yeah.
What if they brought back One Night Stand?
Oh, that would have been perfect.
NXT One Night Stand, and everything's all Extreme Rules based.
At the ECW arena. Oh, that would have been perfect.
Failed. You failed, WWE. You failed. Paul Heyman, come on. Let's talk.
You had the moment. You had the momentum. You had the
I think
idea.
NXT One Night Stand is a better selling point for Mania in Philadelphia.
Yes. Just imagine, like, honestly, think about it. Just imagine how many people would buy WrestleMania Night 2 tickets and NXT One Night
Stand.
Nobody would really care that much about Night 1 other than, like, The Rock or The Rock and Roman teaming up. Like, NXT would be at the pinnacle again, where it's like, we got to watch this over the other thing.
Yeah, like I'll have all the matches be extreme in some form or fashion. Maybe like introduce like a new breed.
Yes.
You know, introduce the new breed faction again. Isn't Elijah Burke signed anywhere?
No, he's
NWA?
not. No, he's not.
He's not.
I've been trying to.
Elijah Burke?
I've been trying my hardest to get him on this show. He is not
Elijah
signed
Burke?
anywhere. Yes, I've been
Oh.
trying, dude.
Man,
We need a tag team.
Up.
We need a tag team on this, dude.
Elijah Burke is a well-respected man of mine. His matches with Punk and Morrison and all the ECW originals, goated. He made the new ECW what it was.
Yes,
Prove me
dude.
wrong.
Because I have been trying my hardest, because he'll do, like, he doesn't really do podcasts now, so I'm like, bro, we're different. We're not gonna bombard you with the same questions. If anything, you're just let us praise you for an hour. That's all that we want to do.
Man,
Just give us that moment.
I need the Pope in my life.
Yes, we so desperately. But you know what? We are almost an hour into it. Do you have any final thoughts from this week in professional?
No, it was a solid week of wrestling. Great pay-per-view. Sting's last match, Revolution, was probably the best pay-per-view in a long time. Elimination Chamber was good, but this one was insanely good. So competition is great. Interviews, as far as my podcast feed and stuff is concerned, I've been listening to Cultaholic, and they had an interview with Sting's kid, the one who played Surfer Sting.
Oh, cool.
Recently.
Garrett.
So yeah, Garrett. He's going to be on Desert Island Graps on the Cultaholic podcast feed. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, be out for that. That's a great listen. That's going to be a great listen for a lot of people. And then there's, of course, Talk is Jericho every week. I like, but other than that, no. Like, I have nothing else. Just hoping to see another productive week.
I hope so, dude. We have TNA Sacrifice Friday tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? I don't know. We'll look into that. I think it's tomorrow. Because they've been moving their pay-per-views to Friday. If not, you'll get to hear our thoughts.
Let's start a hashtag. Hashtag bring NX or NXT one night stand.
Hashtag NXT one night stand. That's what we need to do. I'm looking up. When is it? It's tomorrow. Is Sacrifice. So we may go live after. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if we're gonna do it for the TNA ones. But if we don't, then you'll get to hear our thoughts on it next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, great week in wrestling. Love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching us on Kick. We've actually had we've had viewers the entire time on Kick. I have them on a separate feed because StreamYard doesn't connect. So cool. I'm super excited. I'm glad that we're starting on here. Let's see where we go. You guys can find us at our YouTube channel where you guys are watching Downtime in the Ring. You can find us on Kick at Downtime in the Ring. Spotify, they will be uploaded this weekend. I have a whole weekend free, so I'm gonna, do a lot more of the podcast stuff. Will be uploaded on Spotify this week. And overall, hope you guys stay safe, and we will see you in the next video. End stream.